Hello, everybody. Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV Online. I've been playing this game for a while, and the new expansion came out not too long ago, so I decided to play through the main story and record it as I go. I have many classes at level 70, I guess, so I've put quite a bit of time into this game. Yeah. Should be a good time. I'm gonna wait for the intro video to play because I want to watch it.
Have come and gone since that day. How many years have I waited for this moment? For the one that stood alone against the storm. The one they called. The warrior of light.
To run from my troubles. Until our friend returns, I will hold the line.
This town certainly has changed, and not at all for the better.
Oh, hell yeah. That was pretty sweet. Gonna turn this up a little bit. Just gotta get in the world first. Shouldn't take too long. Come on, game. Don't let me down. There we go. See, not too bad. All right, so what I have done since I got the expansion was I went and finished up the old main quests from the prior expansion so that I could start off right at the start of this one. And I unlocked the 2 new classes just to have them unlocked. So I'm currently playing as a monk at the moment. And I'm just going to go in and get started, I think. White oak weapon coffer and an orchestration roll. Cool. Should I read these? Good news, Alyosha. We've had a stroke of luck in our search for that beacon. Apparently, our colleagues have stumbled across a hidden path leading down into the hollows around the base of the Crystal Tower. Haven't been there in a while. A path I doubt we'd ever have found had the Ironworks and the Sons not added their numbers to the party. Thanks to them, we have eager eyes aplenty down there, checking under rocks and peering into every nook and cranny. Still, it sounds like there's a lot of ground to cover. Then we better go and give them a hand. My thoughts exactly. The sooner we find this beacon, the sooner you can travel to wherever it is this mysterious voice is coming from. And the sooner we can work out how to help our friends. We have to find a way to wake them up, and before the Empire comes calling again, meaning we have no time left to lose. Yes. There's a boat in North Silver Tier waiting to ferry people to the site, so let's be on our way. Sounds good. Alright, so where is this at? Revenant's Toll. Okay, so like right down the road from us. Cool. I think, now that I'm remembering, I'm gonna move. Oh shoot, can I not move my chat bar? Nah. Make it real small. I know my Twitch chat is gonna be around the same area, so I'm hoping they won't overlap. But I might have to move one. It'll be fine. Man, it's been a while since we were back here. There we go. Heading to the survey site, sir. It's on the eastern shore of the lake, and the swiftest way to get there is by boat. Oh yeah, this music.
Look how many people there are.
Yeah, quite a few.
Should we get to it then? Pick up anything that seems the least bit device-like, and we'll make ourselves a pile.
Sounds good.
Well, if it isn't the hero of the hour, maybe you'll change our look. We've found bugger all without you.
There he is.
Biggs! Wedge!
Aye, aye. Well, we could hardly say no to a call for aid from the Scions. Jesse called the chief for some other business, so we'll be working twice as hard to make up for his not being here.
Thrice as hard, even.
Thank you, both of you. I'm sure we'll find that beacon in no time.
I'm not seeing anything out here. Do you reckon you could squeeze in there, Wedge?
And get stuck halfway? No, thank you.
I could try if you like.
Tataru, no! We couldn't ask you to do that.
Oh, I'll be fine. This receptionist is not afraid to get her hands dirty.
Sorry,
What
I
is
meant
that?
to say, the scholars haven't finished their preliminary assessment of the site yet, so we're not supposed to venture too far in. What's that you got there?
I don't know.
Now that looks promising.
Isn't that the Ironworks symbol? Counterfeiters?
Uh-oh.
Now I have you.
You are right.
What's happening?
Stay with me. Focus on my voice. Let expanse contract. Eon become instant.
Wait, this must be it. The device. Well, this is supposed to happen.
Throw wide the gates that we may pass.
Safe journey, warrior of light. Find our friends and bring them home.
I shall.
Don't look at me so.
You're slaves to a tyrant. There's no freedom in that.
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you.
We did everything right. Everything that was asked of us, and still it came to this.
Your time has not yet come.
Oh man. But I'm ready. He's not looking too good.
From endless dreams I awake. Something vague, yet urgent, calls me to action once more.
Where the hell are we at? Oh, hey, it's that guy. Our traveling
Rare to
friend.
meet someone out here who's not a peddler themselves. What brings you into the wilds this time of night?
Good question.
Well, if it ain't the oldest joke in the book. Me granddad, God's rest his soul, used to tell that one to the barman at kicking out time. And when, pray tell, did we last have a dark night? You rotten old drunk, you, he'd reply. Over 100 bleeding years ago, that's when. You got that look down to a T. I'd almost think you meant it.
I did.
Ah, got to you, did they? Poor beggar. That explains it then.
Yes, please. What?
Well, I've roads to travel and wares to sell, but you best hurry along to the town nearby. Just head east through the trees and aim for the Shining Tower. You'll find the place soon enough. 'Tis the biggest settlement for malms around. Go on now, friend. They'll take good care of you in the Crystarium.
Crystarium.
Dizzying heights it rises, the gleaming spire, its tip threatening to pierce the blinding canopy. There, it will all begin anew, between dark and light, the pure and the corrupt, the one true struggle.
Oh shit. Here we go. Alright. Music has been excellent so far. Looks like we can't use our chocobo. What about our other one? Nope. Well, onwards. Looks pretty cool. I wonder where we are.
Halt!
Says who?
Every face in this city I know. Yours, I do not. This is the threshold of the Crystarium, stranger, and I am its gatekeeper. If you would enter, you will answer my questions.
Fair enough.
From where do you hail?
I don't know. Oh. The source.
The source? What is this cryptic nonsense?
Come on, it's the source. Everybody knows the source.
Had you given me an honest answer, I would not have barred your way. We care little here for a person's place of origin. But instead, you chose concealment. And I will not suffer you to pass.
I was gonna say that's a little bit unnecessary.
That one had eaten. It must have gulped down the whole hand, ring and all.
Oh.
Everything all right, Captain?
Quite all right, my lord. Just a stray sin eater, and a weak one at that.
Sin Eater.
I see. Weak or not, we should be on the lookout for more. But I see you've met my guest. I will escort him to the Crystarium myself, if you've no objections.
Another of your mysterious friends, is it? I should have known.
Do we know this guy?
Very well. I'll inform the others your guest is to be given the run of the city. Pray forgive my less than cordial welcome. May the rest of your stay with us be a pleasant one.
Come with me. I will answer whatever questions you have when we are somewhere more private. Right then, before we plunge into the wheres and wherefores, let me first thank you for answering my summons.
Yeah, no problem.
I had intended to bring you directly to my personal quarters, but I fear my aim was slightly off. That you are still able to make the crossing unharmed is a great relief. And so, we come to the question of where. The realm in which you now find yourself belongs to one of the 13 reflections, or shards. The first, to be precise, even if its inhabitants are largely oblivious to the fact.
Interesting.
As to wherefore, having been awarded the rather grandiose title of Crystal Exarch, I, in my capacity as caretaker of the Crystarium, thought to seek the aid of you and your companions.
Are the other Scions here?
That is a question with no simple answer. But all shall be explained in due course, I promise you.
Okay.
Let us begin with the glaring skies up above. Here in the first, the world has been all but consumed by primordial light. It began a century ago, by this realm's reckoning. A luminous flood swallowing everything in its path. More than 9/10 of this star was lost.
Brutal.
And the fortunate few who survived are hounded by abominations born of that catastrophe even now. Sin Eaters, we call them. The creature you saw earlier was one such monstrosity. It was to save the first from this menace that I learned to bridge the rift between worlds. That I might call upon the aid of the greatest of heroes.
That's us.
Though it meant depriving a world of its champion, I had to try. For in saving the first, you would bring salvation to the source as well. But what manner of host harangues his guests in the middle of the road? Let us continue our talk within the Crystarium.
Sounds good, man. Alright, so we wound up in one of 13 different realms, I guess. This one being the first. And our companions may or may not be here.
city. The sole sanctuary for the living in a world all but resigned to oblivion. Each stone was laid with hope. The town itself a symbol, a monument to defiance in the face of death. No would-be hero could fail to answer its call. For who among us does not yearn for salvation?
Cool. Cool little city. Big city, actually. I'll look around a little bit. Sweet. Polished oak chest with lavish filigree that suggests a valuable weapon lies inside, or lies within. Take that. Let me see what item level my weapon is right now. 380, and this one is what? I missed it. Now I gotta find it in this mess. There we go. 385, so I might save it and use it for one of my subclasses. Ooh. Now, a full and frank discussion in the privacy of my study would seem to be in order. But I think our conversation would be more meaningful were you first to gain a firmer grasp of the situation here. To that end, I would like you to visit a few of the Crystarium civic leaders and glean something of this world and its predicament. Word. As you can see, this path will take you directly to the Aetheryte, convenience with which I am sure you are only too familiar. No. Being the rightful object of my summoning spell, you should, in theory, be able to reach all the way back along your etheric trail and find a connection in the source, believe it or not. I strongly suggest you complete this attunement before venturing any further. After you have done so, walk up the steps next to the Aetheryte and head out to the left to arrive to the crystalline mean. This is where you'll find our collective of crafters and gatherers, as well as their spokeswoman, Catless, one of the people I should like you to meet. Another is Morin. To reach him and his cabinet of curiosity, you'll want to avoid the aforementioned steps, take the exit on the left, and simply continue straight along and down until you come to the large doors at the end of the path. The third and final person I should like you to meet is Braggy, our man in charge of trade and distribution. He is to be found in the markets, which you can access from the opposite side of the Aetheryte Plaza. Okay. In seeking out each of my colleagues, you will visit the major districts of the city and hopefully gain a feel for the place. I trust my directions were simple enough. Yep. Crystal clear. Haha, very good. I concede. The layout of the Crystarium owes more to historic necessity than planning, but I'm sure you'll learn its twists and turns before long. In all honesty, the true challenge may be in finding the right way to approach its citizens. As you discovered during your encounter with the captain, the people of this world are unaware of the existence of other stars and will struggle to accept the truth of your origin. That being the case, when they ask whence you hail, as they inevitably will, I suggest you claim to share a homeland with the Crystal Exarch. There's an unspoken rule here about peering too deeply into that particular mystery. When you finish making the rounds, pray meet me in the large courtyard at the center of town. Until then. Oh yeah. Alright, let's go visit the first guy, so we'll attune to this aetheryte and then walk up the stairs and go to the left. By focusing your senses, you detect the flow of vastly distant currents of aether. Your connection to these energies is faint but stable and should allow teleportation to aetherites in the source. Cool, so we're not stuck in this other world. Not that I would mind. That would be interesting. Got some gardens. Merchant and Mender. Script exchange. Okay. Looks like a tanner over there. Cool. Alright, catless. Rare to see a place so well stocked with goods, isn't it? But not here. I'm going to guess you're new to our fair city. Well, for what it's worth, you've chosen a fine sanctuary. The Exarch can throw up a barrier if the Sin Eaters come knocking, so it's a damn sight safer in here than it is out there. Safer and more civilized too, thanks to us and the mean. We work together to procure materials and resources, and craft the goods which make city life possible. This is the place to visit if you need a coat mended or a kettle forged. Actually, just don't go thinking it'll all be handed to you on a plate like those Yule Morin layabouts. Here in the Crystarium, we work for a living. Though I see you're no stranger to honest labor, you don't have that whiff of indolence about you like some folk I've met. Still, I can't quite pin down your profession. Where is it you're from? One of Exarch's countrymen, you say? I see. Well then, I'll work twice as hard to make you feel welcome. Our city wouldn't even exist if it weren't for him, and any friend of his is a friend of ours. It's really quite incredible when you think about it. They say his grand magic summoned the Crystal Tower into existence, pulled the entire thing out of thin air. It wasn't long before droves of refugees began congregating around its base, desperate for shelter after losing their homes to the flood. And that's how the Crystarium began. At the Exarch's invitation, buildings started going up, and with the help of some curious relics brought forth from the tower, the place gradually expanded into the thriving metropolis you see today. The city stood here for decades now, yet the eldest among us swear the Exarch looks exactly the same as he did back then. He is indeed a man of many mysteries, but for all his secrecy, he has never yet let us down. So if he, and you, wish to remain silent about your shared homeland, then the folk here will respect your wish for privacy. I am, however, more than a little curious to see any crafting talent you might be hiding. If you've aught to contribute on that front, be sure to come back and visit once you've had a chance to settle in. Just ask for Catless, and I'll find you a niche here in Crystalline Mean. You can help us keep the cogs of the city greased and turning. Your exchange with Catless has taught you about life in the Crystarium. So a bunch of hard-working labor. Kind of like a commune city. Everybody's working together to keep it afloat. Cool. Real quick, my history with Final Fantasy games is pretty expansive. I've played 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, a little bit of 13, and then I didn't play the original 14 MMO, but I played the reboot once that started, and have played every expansion since in some capacity. So, yeah. This game series easily has one of my favorite, or some of my favorite soundtracks in video games. The composer is phenomenal. Whoops. I should have taken a left down here. Mubby. But yeah, I enjoyed Stormblood. It was cool, but Heaven's Ward was a lot, or I enjoyed it a lot more, I think. Especially the story and the setting and everything was really cool. So I've heard people say that the story in Shadowbringers is supposed to be even better than Heaven's Ward in some cases, so I'm super duper hyped to see how the story develops. If you want to take a look at my classes, here they are. You can see what I've got everything leveled to. And then here's my crafting classes, which I worked on for a while, but ended up not having the time to max them out, so I haven't yet. But I still do the turn-ins when I can. And yeah. What else? I don't know if there's really too much else for me to go over. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Cool. I'm just kind of looking around a little bit. New city and all that. Tons to explore. Morin. Excuse me, sir. Are you recently come to the city, perchance? I'm quite familiar with our civic roles, you see, and well... What I meant to ask is, have you brought any books with you? A rumpled scroll even? A scrap of scribbled on parchment? My apologies, literature is something of an obsession of mine, as well as a profession. Librarian Morin, at your service, and this humble collection is known as the Cabinet of Curiosity. As your powers of perception have likely informed you, my colleagues and I are responsible for curating all manners of tomes, documents, and other vehicles for the written word. As horrific as the loss of life and land wrought by the flood unquestionably was, the damage to recorded knowledge was no less catastrophic. We few do all we can to preserve what wisdom survived. But tell me, what brings you to the cabinet today? Looking for any title in particular? Mayhap a spot of academic research? Any books you got on this place? Oh, so you've an interest in modern history. Splendid. A thorough review of recent events can often yield novel perspectives. I quite agree. If you would prefer something visual to accompany the account, then I think I have an illustrated history book for children somewhere. Just a moment, I'll fetch it for you. Sounds good. Not a little bit insulting. Nah, children's books are cool. And here we are. Would you like to pull up a chair? Make yourself more comfortable? On with the lesson then. Let's do it. A 100 years ago, or near enough not to matter, villains known as the Warriors of Light slew the Shadowkeeper, the Steward of Darkness. In the wake of this tainted deed, light began to pour into the world as if from unseen cracks. It pooled and swelled without cease, until the day an enormous, blinding wave rose up and swept across our star. We call this calamity the Flood of Light. Everything it touched was leached of life and vigor, leaving naught behind but a luminous wasteland. Shit. Yet just when it seemed that all would be lost, a savior appeared before us. The Oracle of Light, she stood twixt us and approaching doom, and by her power did she stay the flood. Thus was Norvrant, and Norvrant alone spared the fate of Erasure, the 80s singer, who has that one song. Look it up. It's a good song. But it was a one-hit wonder, so. Tragedy would, however, arrive in another form. From the blasted emptiness descended horrors of strange and terrible aspect to bedevil the few folk who survived. These sin-eaters were light incarnate, and their fulgent presence stole the night from Norvrant's sky. Just a heads up, I may mispronounce some words. There's a lot of complicated words in this game, and some of them I've never heard said aloud, so just, forgive me. Even now, they circle the remaining bastions of civilization, ever on the hunt for us, ever hungering for our flesh. But they look so angelic. The light is the enemy. Like darkness is our enemy. And, now the bad guys have these, paladin aesthetics. And it's pretty cool. I like it. And thus did the world become what it is. Should you ever wish to hear the tale again, I would be glad to retell it for you. Or would you rather I speak of other matters? That too would be my pleasure. I should be glad of the company. Your exchange with Morin has taught you about the Flood of Light. Okay. So we got a yin-yang situation going on here, where as above, so below. The light is equal to darkness. Two sides of the same coin. You get it. And so in this world of the Upside Down, we're going to fight on the side of darkness in order to fight the evil light. Because too much of one or the other, any sort of extremes, is bad. Gotta have balance in them too. At least in this world. And ours too, I think. Also, you can see my cat. He's pretty cool. Not sure what his name is. Just Coral Kitten. I should name him. I don't know if you can. Can I? Emote. Yeah. Alright, here's Braggy. Broggy. New to the city, friend. The spinning head and wide eyes give you away. Huh? Welcome. My name is Broggy, and I am the master of these markets. They gave the district another, official title, but I'm not in the habit of using it, too florid by half. In any case, our merchants stock a range of equipment for drawn, such as yourself. Wonder what drawn means. So finding something in your size shouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry, did you say drawn? Aye. Something wrong? Let's see if we can straighten this out. See those two in front of us? The shorter one is a hume, and the taller one is an elf. That sturdy individual over there is a galgant, whilst the one with horns is a drawn, like you. Ah. And then you have the large, scaly chaps with long tails and a knack for raising livestock. Those would be the Zune by Microsoft. I used to have a Zune, which is apparently not the name you know them by. Now I'm curious to know which far-flung region you hail from. Don't worry about it, dude. Ah, the same as the Exarch, eh? Well, that explains it. You don't get much further flung than that. We've had a few of your lot pass through in recent years, and despite their obvious learning, they floundered over the simplest things. But not to worry, should you find yourself confused by the local language or customs, I'll be here to answer your questions. Your exchange with Broggy has taught you about the peoples of the First. Cool. Hopefully he's down here, not up top. Can I tune to this shard too? The docile gate. Well, how did you fare? Did my colleagues help you form a clearer picture of this world and its people? Yup. Yes, it seems you were treated to a most thorough introduction. I understand it was something of a chore, but 'twas necessary that you grasp these things before we proceed. As for the Crystal Tower's origin, you may have noted that details were sparse. The structure is, in fact, the self-same one you know from the source, transported to the First in its entirety. So we copy-pasted it. It was my first attempt at breaching the boundaries between worlds, something of a trial run for your eventual crossing. And although I do not know which era I tore it from, I do know that its arrival served to set the wheels of fate in motion. Cool. Let's see how good my chest is. Whoops. 385, so it's the same. So I'll probably keep this chest as well for one of my other classes that don't have as good of gear. I'm going to go ahead and call it there for now. I'll be back next time. Thanks for watching.